Alrighty, everybody, we are going to start the next phase of the electrical here, and that is taking the um, little micro switches and putting little diodes on them so we can make our limit switches here. There we go. So you can kind of see there we're going to make our little limit switch. And we got to put a diode in between the 2 points here. And if anybody doesn't know what a diode is, it is actually, well, if you look at a diode, if you look at a diode, there's going to be a mark on one side of the diode that marks the blockage or the wall. And essentially a diode is just put a one-way street for electricity to pass through, but it can't pass through the other side. So it'll only go but one way, but it cannot go back the other way. So that's essentially what it is. And by putting it in a couple strategic spots on the limit switch here, you can control how to cut the power and then route it into a different way via a diode. So, and then on every limit switch here, I don't know if you're actually going to see this, but each post here has a marking on it. Usually the if you look at the angle of the striker plate here and go straight down, that's usually the common. This is where your power or your electricity or your voltage comes into at. And then your other two here, which is NO and NC, which means normally open, normally closed. And what that means is that in the rest position here, that it is normally closed. When you press it down here, then it'll be in the open position. So what we have to do is actually take the diode and jump from the common to the normal open. And you have to make sure that the orientation of the diode is correct. Now, tell you what, hold on. Let me get my paperwork here and I can kind of show you real quick. Okay, now, if you take a look at my paperwork here, may have to flip this upside down. Okay, you take a look at my paperwork here. You have the power coming in that goes to the motor. Then you have your two limit switches here. And by orientating the diodes in the proper spots will limit the current from going into certain spots, thus cutting the power and still giving power to the other side. Then when you reverse the polarity via the transmitter, it'll go back the other way. And if you look at the one dial here, it can't go through here, but it can go through the switch via the little circuitry here, pass through it, go in here. Now with this not being, say like if this is switched, then this would be in the common open, which means it has nowhere to go, but it can flow through the diode the one way, thus going up to the motor. So that's how really diodes work. And if you go back the other way, you know, and if this one's tripped and this one is not, then if you go back the other way, it can't go this way. So it has to go in through the limit switch via the contacts, out through it. And then if this is switched, then if it goes through out that way, it can't, but it can go right back to the battery because of the way your diodes. So one limit switch is going to have the diode from the common to the normally open, and the other one is going to have the normally open to the common. So you have to kind of reverse it. And this is hooking it up in series. So the first one here, we're going to hook from the common open All right, now if you look close, you're going to see the one side of the diode there, which has the black mark on it, which indicates the wall. And I have it hooked facing the common open. Alrighty, so now, actually I think I did this one backwards. This is actually the common to the normally open. I need a normally open to the common. Pretty much have one facing one way and one facing the other way as far as being on the limit switches here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, set these two off to the side. Okay, so all right, well, we got all those orientated correctly. Now we're going to take a quick break here, and then we're going to bring the excavator over and start trying to wire in some specific areas here. So be right back. Alrighty, everybody, got it all done here. As you can see, I got the limit switches hooked in. Now I just got to do a little wire management here. Got those two hooked in. The one for the up and down boom, I got one located here, and then one located off the ram here. You know, so when this goes all the way down, this will touch that, and that'll make that go up. So then I got to start the wire management all back here. But as far as the limit switches, that one's for the up, that one's for the down, this one's for the in, that one's for the out, that one's for the in, and that one's for the out. Alrighty, and there it is right there. Alrighty, and that's it for that. Once everything is all hooked up and wire managed together, then I'll get a video of it all working together, but they work. So, alrighty. Until next time. Alrighty, everybody. We are on to the next step. I actually kind of did all the limit switches here on the boom. Now I just got to do a little wire management here. So now I'm going on to the next step, and that's bringing everything into the overcarriage. Now, as you can see here, I actually have two large bus bars, one right there and one right there, which is gonna hook into the battery. One side's negative and one side's positive, and that's going to be feeding all the speed controls that I have mounted along the sides here, you know, just with a little velcro velcro tape there. And I already have the slew gear and the two motors already hooked up. That's what's here, and I got those feeding over to the far side over here, which are feeding these three. And then I got the receiver mounted right here, which is just on a little another piece of Velcro just right there. And I'm gonna put the sound and light control right here, and then I'll figure out where to put the speaker and the battery after I get all of that. So, and then obviously the switches and everything. I don't know where I'm going to be putting all the switches or what have you now, but that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. So what I can do at the moment is kind of what we can do here. All right, since that's already hooked up, we can take our receiver, put it off to the side here. Now with these little speed controls here, with the 1060 speed controls, what you're gonna have to do is put it in track mode or tank mode. Don't put it in the forward, brake, reverse, or the boat mode. You got to go with the forward and reverse only, because that'll affect how your boom works, your tracks works and everything. So you don't need to get all that high tech. And then just make sure whether you're running a lithium ion or a nickel cad. And that should be it for as far as programming the ECSs. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and slide this in. Alrighty, then we can just get some zip strips, some plastic tie wraps, and we can just kind of cable manage this together. And then as far as this side over here, tell you what, where's my zip strips? We can start bringing the main wires back into the back area here. What we got here? This is the boom. All right, the boom. To actually tell you what, we probably should start setting up some tracks here. So my both tracks is going to be on 5 and 6. Okay. So we'll put that one, 5 and 6. Now remember, also remember to disconnect all the positive leads that you're hooking into the receiver except one, which mine is going to be this one, which is going to be my the channel for my slew gear. So that's going to be in channel 4, or no, that's going to be in channel 1. Or is it 2? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, I'm thinking 4 maybe. Yeah. So let's take these and put them in the correct one. Okay. And then my bucket or my boom is going to be on 1. Okay. Slew gear is going to be on 1. My bucket's going to be on 2. And then the stick is going to be on 3. Now you can always move these around. I think this is the way it goes. We'll check it out and see once we have everything all hooked up. Okay, so you're going to be needing all 6 channels. Alrighty. And just remember, you got all of these disconnected except one positive lead feeding the receiver. Okay. Now let's get this together. So this is the bucket. Bucket's going to be on 2. Now, you can put bullet plugs on here so they can go into the speed control. But what I found out works very nice with 16 gauge wire and the shielding around it. That's a perfect bullet plug for it. Alrighty, let's see if we got movement. Okay, let's go ahead and dip that battery down into there. Go ahead and put it in. Okay, there you go. Okay, my 1 and 4 needs to be changed. 1 and 4 needs to be changed. Alrighty, there we go. All the limit switches work. Move. And she's there. righty. There she is. Alright, then I'll get some zip strips. I'll clean up everything. But yeah, she is done. Okay. Alrighty, everybody. We are back for the last step in the building of the Volvo 505 excavator, which is consisting of the ESP32 and the microcontroller, or the microcontroller, which is the ESP32, and the PCB board that we have to put the pins in. I did order this from PCB Way. There are instructions when you order the when you buy the files from Bernie222. He'll give you instructions on how to purchase one of these through PCB Way, and I'll leave a link down in the description below on the PCB Way link. So that, and then we're also going to need a which one is this one? This is the MP14 the MP1584 DAC buck converter. It's a buck converter. Shoots 12 volts in, 5 volts out. Okay, and then we're needing a Class D audio amplifier here, and I think the this is the PAM 8403 or a WH104 Class D audio amplifier. Then you're also going to need a 20K potentiometer, which consists of one of these, a 20K, and then you're going to need a power source. Okay, so that's that, and then a speaker. This is stereo. I'm going to have to get some smaller speakers because this is more of a subwoofer or more of a bass speaker, and to get the full audio out of your ESP32, I do recommend hooking up stereo because that'll give you your high and low ends. So on that note, we'll get started. Now, I like working from the inside out, so I'll start off with the two insides, which is the buck converter and the audio amplifier, and then I'll start working my way going out with putting all the pins in. So all right, so let's get started. All right, now we're going to take our buck converter. Now you also got to make sure you have this pointing the right way. Now on the back of here, you do have an arrow. That's not it. This is it here. So you do have an arrow pointing which way it goes. You just got to make sure that the in and it is marked on the ESP32 here. All right, a little bit better of a picture there. So, all right, so I like just got to make sure that this is pointing in the correct way there. So, and it is marked on the board. So that's the in and that's the out. So we'll just kind of set that right on top of that. All right, I'm going to take a little piece of tape here, kind of help me out. I'm just going to tape this down here so this stays put while I Alrighty, then I'll come back and I'll clip those off there, make it a little bit more flush, make it a little bit more pretty. But we'll move on to the amplifier now. That'll slide right down over onto that. Okay. But first of all, what we have to do is put two on this side. Kind of looks like that. This is going to be kind of difficult here. What we're going to have to do is one of those numbers. Alrighty, I cut them all down. As you can see, I cut them all down to size. Now we're going to start in on putting the power and the potentiometer on. Okay, so let's get a potentiometer. Now the potentiometer is marked. If you look closely, it is marked a 1, 2, and a 3. And if you look really close on the potentiometer itself, right across the bottom there, these are marked 1, 2, and 3. So you do have to make sure that they are orientated correctly. So just put a piece of tape on this so it'll kind of hold it down for me. Got the power supply on, got the potentiometer on. Now let's set the ESP32 because this is going to involve Okay, now we got to put on the connectors for the lights now, and then the receiver and the ECS. So let's get some here. Alrighty, I believe that's it. We don't need the backup lights. We don't need the Tamiya trailer lights. We don't need a shaker. We don't need the LCD display. We don't have any turn signals or fog lights or anything over on this side. And we're not using any of the channels over here for the pulse width module, the PWM mode on the transmitter. So that's pretty much it. And then once that's, then what we do now is we take the ESP32 and we just plug that right into that, and we can program it here. This will be our power source. This is the volume for the speakers here. Make sure those are tight. Those didn't feel tight there, but okay, they are tight. So that is a finished product that we need for the excavator. So yeah, so that's a finished product there. Okay, we are on to the next step here, to where we are we have made the ESP32 here. We have mounted it in the overcarriage here. I just made a couple little standoffs, kind of get it off the main ground here, and then I can run wires underneath it. I got the ESP32, the speed controls on each side. I got two on and off switches, one for the main battery, and then one for the ESP32, with a nice little bus bar here that's hooking all the power into everything pretty much, and then all of the wire management here. It is all good to go. So now all we have to do is put the last little pieces in, which is the cover plates. I did take the speaker and I mounted it to the under the main engine cover here, and just screwed it in. And glued all of the handrails on and everything. So this is actually pretty much a pretty done deal. So okay, I'm gonna put the camera down here and we are going to finish putting it together. All right, now I did add some weights I don't know exactly how much I added to the back counterweight compartment here, but I just pretty much stood back, looked at it as I was raising up and down the front bucket here, and pretty much keep adding the weights until it didn't tilt to one side or the other when I picked the bucket up. So on that note, then so the back part here can be put on also. All right, so once again, we're just going to use some M3 8 self-tappers, and go ahead and we can screw this down. Alrighty, and that is it. Now I am going to put another speaker into the engine compartment here. I don't have one. I'm gonna have to order a couple more. Just a small, maybe like a 1-inch by a 1/2-inch internal laptop speaker or something. I'm gonna hunt one down. You know, I get a lot of them online, but let's see if I can salvage a laptop or so. But for the time being, we can run it off of one. I mean, it's pretty good sound. It's just you'll get better sound off of the ESP32 since the audio amplifier is stereo. So we'll just go ahead and hook this up. So that's all hooked up and everything. And then what I'm going to do here is just kind of there. Take the battery. And I did put a couple pieces of Velcro in some strategic spots there to just kind of help hold it away from everything. So we'll just go ahead and put that in. And do one of these numbers. Put it right there. And hold it up there. And tuck everything in. Like 2. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Kind of tuck that in there. Then we'll take our lid. See, I'm not digging these switches. All right. So we'll just kind of put that right there. And we'll put that on there like that. And that is it. She is done. Really? Get you on camera going outside.